Good afternoon. It's May 9th, 2011. This is Cliff Potts. Welcome. I want to talk about something here. I am back in Chicago, as you know. And I wrote something in a discussion I was having yesterday that I feel compelled to put into an oration, if that's the right word. The reason I feel compelled is because I want it on the record. I'm going to leave it here to cook, see what comes of it. I spent 13 years in Dallas-Fort Worth and never really got past the colloquial, "You ain't from around here, are you?" It goes back to, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. What I did find is that the street politics, like the May Day March and the Move On, Defense of the American Dream gathering, did bridge that gap to some degree. But there was still the, "Who the hell are you and what are you doing here?" attitude. That strikes me as being very strange. 2, DFW's media does not allow for much in the way of dissidents. You cannot question anything in Texas that doesn't wave the American flag or carry the cross of Jesus. And I don't know what to say about the intellectual snobbery that I found down there at all. Dallas-Fort Worth and Texas as a whole is pretty much a closed system, and nothing new can be added to the discussion. From 2006 to 2009, I released 5 books. Now, I've gotten chided on the right that, "Well, what the hell you got to say? Your books are no good. Your writing's horrible." Well, that would require that the dumb fuck Republicans and conservatives actually read them. And I happen to know they haven't because I know my sales numbers. So, excuse me on that criticism, but fuck you too. 3 of them predicted the era we are now in. The publisher handled the press releases. I saw them. And nothing was ever mentioned in the media down there. Now, you can excuse it however you want, but I was here all of one day here in Chicago. Chicago, which is a city of 3 million people. It's the 3rd largest city in the United States. And they managed to cover, shortly, real small, but coverage nonetheless, the Jobs for Justice demonstration down here that was all of 24 people. This is Chicago and they can cover it, and Dallas can't? Excuse me. You have one very closed system down there in Texas. You know, there's assertion that people need to educate themselves, and that's all fine and good. But it does little good when the culture goes out of its way to freeze out any discussion. Texas runs their politics like it is a flipping country club. Okay? That's how Dallas operates. And oh my! If I'm coming off rude, who cares? Rude is when you destroy people's families. Rude is when you condemn them to die because they can't afford health care. Much of this smacks of, "I've got mine, to hell with you." And I've seen enough of that as well. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the media in DFW, since they can't cover any hard news, is full of fluff. Pretty much it is. You can do what you want with it. You know, if they would cover real issues, maybe people would show up. I don't know. But I do know that due to socioeconomic stratification, sometimes that is not possible. The bottom line for me, on a personal level, is that I did what I could when I was down in Texas and was told and shown to take, or shown that I should take, a flying leap at myself. And even now, I can honestly tell you, you have no idea who I am, you have no idea what I've done, and you really don't give a damn. Guess what? It flies both ways now. As far as I'm concerned, KMA. I have to add something because this discussion has been ongoing in Facebook. I want to make something kind of clear here. Everybody talks a great talk about working hard. And yet, when you do the work and you have a proven track record, and the work, for whatever reason, like I said with the books I've written, doesn't fall into this very narrow confine of what is acceptable within a culture, then you're chided for expecting the work to be rewarded. I really don't know what to say about that on a critical level, except it's bullshit, hypocrisy, and this time, by the way, it's coming out of the left. The left of somebody who happens to be well entrenched in their little niche, and they, by God, don't want anybody challenging that niche or their way of life or how they deal with others or the fact that the South still has the apartheid-like discrimination, except this time it is not against an individual race. It's against everything else. If you didn't go to the right school, you don't know the right people, you don't have the right size bank account, you are ill, you are not from around here, don't defend it. You don't like this field report? Too bad. Too bad. Like I said, I watched you guys for 13 years. Just to be on the sane and rational side of things, and I've exhibited a lot of energy here, venting, if you will, and you can take that for what it's worth. The Democrats in Texas, in 2008, published a document. I used to have one, but through the series of moves it got lost, which shows where Texas ranks in social indexes and indices. And in every single instance that you want to name, Texas either ranks at the bottom or very close to it. So you can argue with me all you want, but you'd better deal with what's going on in your own state. Texas is good for one thing and one thing only: destroying anything and anybody who steps out of line. I get that. You did it to me. Cut it out with the BS, okay? Embrace your culture, love it, do whatever you want, but straighten out your own mess. That's what I would tell you, okay? Go do the research yourself. You'll find I'm not out of line here. I'm just putting into words what I experienced myself. Take it from there. Thank you very much for your time. Yes, I had to get that off my chest. May your God go with you. Bye-bye for now.